Just over 48 hours is all it took for the American dream for European football to first shock the world with their surprise announcement and then also spontaneously combust following the stance taken by the fans, the footballers, the coaches, British royalty and even political leaders. Why? Because well, पैसा बोलता है, but clearly in Europe, fans की सुनते हैं. Okay, now before I get any further, let me just take you through the what, when, who, why of this proposed European Super League. Early on Monday morning, India time, news broke of 12 of Europe's biggest clubs announcing that they were going to be taking part in something they called the European Super League that would see matches being played midweek only between the founding clubs. Now, who were these founding clubs behind this big idea? Well, England's Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, Manchester City, Tottenham Hotspur, Liverpool, Italy's Inter Milan, Juventus, AC Milan, and Spain's Atletico Madrid, Barcelona and Real Madrid. They had hoped, in fact, that 3 more of Europe's elite clubs would join in and help them complete their cartel of 15 founding clubs of the Super League. They'd of course also plan to open it up and have 5 spots every season, 5 spots that could be grabbed by teams after going through a qualification tournament. The problem, of course, was that the midweek in which the Super League planned to play their matches would of course clash with the schedule of the Champions League, which is mostly played midweek as we know. So this obviously eventually meant that the Super League clubs planned to pull out of the Champions League and in actually a few cases the Europa League matches as well. Now, why would they choose to do this, right? Champions League, of course, is the most elite tournament in European football. Well, money. Apparently having enough money isn't enough and more needed to be earned. And as we know, a lot of these clubs that were part of the Super League had over the last decade been talking about how they deserved a larger chunk of the revenue of the Champions League because if they sold more tickets, had better viewership, then why wouldn't they be making more money? Let me just give you an analogy of the IPL here. It's almost like Chennai Super Kings, Royal Challengers Bangalore, Mumbai Indians and KKR, sorry to the other fans. But imagine if these 4 clubs broke away from the IPL and said, you know what, we deserve more money because we sell more tickets, we fill more stadiums, our brand value is higher. So instead of playing the IPL, they just form another league of their own. And like we know, the BCCI of course shares 50% of the profits from the broadcast rights, the sponsorship deals in the IPL with the 8 IPL teams. They of course divide them equally among the 8 IPL teams. This was the plan of this breakaway league, almost as if Chennai, Mumbai, RCB and KKR were saying that they did not want to share the profits with the BCCI or the 4 other teams. Instead, they wanted the entire chunk to themselves. Instead of dividing it with the other parties, it would be divided by 4. That's what the Super League was saying, that instead of dividing the money with the UEFA, which was taking of course a larger chunk of the money and then giving it to the other teams to divide amongst themselves, these 20 clubs in the Super League would eventually just divide all the revenue from the broadcast of the Super League and the sponsorships between these 20 teams. Elite level confidence this required, this whole plan of the Super League. And you'd ask, where does the confidence come from? Where did this whole idea come from? Many say it has its origin in America. We of course know that Premier League clubs Liverpool, Manchester United, Arsenal are owned by American owners. And as we do know, in America they don't really have elimination system in their leagues like in the NBA or the NFL, unlike the Premier League or the Champions League. Premier League, if you don't keep up the quality of play, you do fall lower and play the championship the next season. For Champions League also, you need to finish in the top 4 to qualify for the Champions League. This is what they wanted to eliminate basically. The idea of the Super League would be that there would be no elimination. Everybody would play every season. Nobody needed to do well or win a certain number of matches to qualify for the next season. You play every season, you play every club. And in the words of Pep Guardiola, it is not a sport where success is already guaranteed, or it is not a sport when it doesn't matter where you lose. Guardiola, of course, spoke out against the plans of the Super League, despite his team's owner being involved in the plans, and did make his voice very much known, much like what a lot of the footballers and the coaches in the Premier League did do, which in fact helped the fans and UEFA put the pressure required, that we have seen eventually result in the Super League sort of almost being suspended, as we know. Okay, now coming back to the American origins of this league's idea, and American investment firm JP Morgan was also involved, and they had committed 3.3 billion euros to laying the foundation of this league. And each of these 15 founding clubs that would start the Super League were going to be getting 200 to 300 million euros as pretty much joining fees. So you sort of get an understanding of where the confidence for such a rebellious idea came from. Also, now speaking of confidence, it wasn't just the American club owners in the Premier League or the American investment firm. There was also Real Madrid's boss, Florentino Perez, who was actually slated to be the chairman of the Super League. In the last few days, he's in fact said, "We are working on saving football after the pandemic." Madrid's income fell from 900 million to 600 million this year. "We are working very hard on something that would satisfy everyone." The everyone, of course, that he was talking about were just the 15 clubs of the 15 founding clubs of the Super League, clubs that have years of history, years of having played in the most elite of leagues in the world, profits that they continue to make, profits that might have diminished because of the pandemic, but profits that will continue to come in. And well, despite a lot of these 12 founding clubs having pulled out of the plans of the Super League, Real Madrid and Florentino Perez continue to be part of this league, and at the time of recording at least, and we will of course keep you updated on everything that happens with this league over the next few days as well.